Like I know when I had my squirrel, I struggled with letting him go. I really did. Like I was like, gosh, I really like. Once I opened this door, I might never see him again, or maybe a predator. Ultimately,
but it was
he needed to go.
Yep.
He had.
That's how I felt about the babies, and I only had them for a few hours.
Dude, I know.
I was like, oh, I know your mama right outside, but I just want
They're so cute and cuddly, and
she gonna take care of you.
But she did. Maxine, and now look at the relationship you have with the whole, with all of them, because they all know.
They show up now, so we got Niblet, we got Nibbeline, we got Consuela. She don't be understanding me much, really, because I'm not bilingual.
Language barrier.
Yeah.
Oh,
but she come around.
Everybody, welcome to the Brotherly Love Pod, everybody. Happy Friday. Here we are. We have a very special guest. I'm very excited.
In studio.
We have the Squirrel Man, Derrick Downey Jr. Welcome, Derrick. How you doing, buddy?
Welcome to Brotherly
I'm
Love
doing
Pod,
great.
man.
Yeah, man. I'm
Welcome
excited
to
to be
the Brotherly
here.
Love Pod.
Yes,
We
thank
were just saying that your name is very cool. Like Derrick Downey Jr. Just got that alliteration. I love that. Right? You were saying so many people, as we know, look like either change their names or slightly.
We had to change
it.
Yeah,
Lawrence is our middle name. We've told that story several times because when we first started years and years ago, Mignona, because we're Italian, with the silent G's, like nobody wanted that. They were all like,
they weren't into it.
How do we pronounce that? So they're like, we need to shorten that. We're like, well, I'm the third.
Okay.
So they're like,
Joe,
well, Lawrence, let's go for the.
Why don't we let our guest speak? You're telling him
hold
our whole
on.
lineage
Well,
here.
no, that's fine.
I mean, I'm the third. See, we were born in England times.
No.
I mean, I love a good history lesson.
Yeah, so
here's our plaid
anyway,
from Scotland.
So
from
Lawrence,
the 18th.
Lawrence became our name. So we adjusted it, but you didn't.
Yeah,
and that's really cool.
Downey
And
is
you're
it. Junior. I'm a second, but I go by Junior. And no affiliation to Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
I wish. I wish. Oh man,
that'd be pretty sweet.
man.
Cool,
Bank account would be nice.
Yes.
I know. Can I get in the will?
Right. Put me down.
I know.
But yeah, man, my name is definitely Derrick Downey Jr.
That's so cool.
And it's a great name.
It is a great name.
If I
It's a
say
great
so
name.
I
myself.
love the name.
Yeah, we did change our names. We raffled through about 1,000. We picked out of a hat and
No,
came
we
up with
didn't.
Lawrence.
That's not
Yeah.
true.
No,
That's
we
a
didn't
lie.
at all.
That's a lie.
How was that?
I've actually had
It's his middle name,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, that's
People
what you
couldn't
said.
pronounce Mignona.
Yeah, that's
You go
what
ahead,
you
Joe.
said.
You tell the story. I guess it is relevant.
Why would I
it's
tell it
relevant.
again? You just made fun of me for telling it. Now you're retelling it.
Well, I
That
don't
doesn't
know.
make any sense. But people have often asked me if I had a middle name, and I was like, well, I don't know. So I've made it up at times, like to fill out stuff. I've made it up. I've used Tyler because Joseph Tyler would be so cool, and then I got made fun of.
Never
so
understood
that's
that
what I'm
one.
saying. I like it.
Yeah, I
You
don't
showed it to
either.
what
But
sounds like-
but your middle name is actually
Lawrence.
Okay.
Last
My middle
name
name
is
is Dion. So all D's.
What?
Derrick
Wow.
Dion Downey.
Triple D.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
even cool.
Yeah.
D3.
Yeah.
D3.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's awesome.
My mom was so creative.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have siblings?
Yes.
How many?
Well, all right. I got 2 sisters, blood, and then I have 7 brothers, half brothers.
Wow.
Yeah. So Kamisha Downey, that's my late sister. Rest in peace.
Okay.
Shantae Downey, and then a lot of Joes, Josephs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
We got a
Joe's
bunch of
good
Joes.
name. It's a
Yeah.
good name.
Yeah, my grandfather's name was Joe. My grandmother's name was Josephina.
Okay.
He's Joe. My
Yeah.
dad's name is Joseph.
Joe.
Okay.
There's just so
Yeah,
many
yeah.
Joes. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good. Wow. Okay. That's great, man. And do you have kids of your own?
I don't.
You don't
Not
have
yet.
kids? No.
Not yet.
Well, you're still young.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I got 3 kids.
We'll get there once I get into a relationship.
Yeah, I
Yes,
get it.
that's
I
first.
get it.
Right? That's the first.
That's the
I
first
get
part.
it. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. I want to do it the right way.
You got to do it the right way,
You
bro.
know,
You
you know.
got to do it the right way,
man.
bro. I know, man.
You know, you think I
know.
swear, life. You think you got it all figured out. You think you know, and then it's very unpredictable in a lot of ways. And,
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
3 kids. I love them all. Life has been an unexpected journey in a lot of ways for me, but yeah, it is. I mean, you kind of plan out everything, and then that old saying, like, life happens in between all these plans that we make.
Yeah, absolutely.
The older you get, you realize that adage is so true. It is really true, and you don't know actually what your path is. You just try to do the best you can every day,
Yeah.
and not make the same mistakes.
Absolutely.
Hopefully.
And I think it makes life easier when you know how to pivot, right?
Absolutely.
Have to.
If you
So true.
if you have a plan for yourself and you're so stuck on sticking to that, when life really comes your way and you stay with that, life becomes harder.
Absolutely.
But if you allow yourself to pivot, because I had no clue that my journey would be where I'm at now, right?
Well,
Like
I can't imagine because the squirrels. I mean,
You can't make that.
No,
up.
I mean, you can't.
Like,
I'm sure when, I'm sure
you
when
know
you
what
were
I'm
looking
saying?
at, yeah. Because how old are you? If you don't mind me asking?
32.
Okay, so you're a young
Yeah.
dude. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're super young. Wow. All right. So
Yeah.
I'm sure like when you were like 21, like 18, you're going like, I'm gonna be a squirrel master.
Right.
You know?
Right. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
thinking like, because no.
Yeah.
But yet, look at what's happening. I mean, it's an incredible thing. Actually,
Yeah.
it's really cool.
It's actually really cool to see you kind of fall into this thing and it be so successful for you and it kind
Yeah.
of be your journey. It's
Yeah.
just so fascinating to watch. I mean,
Matt's obsessed. With
Well,
it.
yeah, I started-
I mean,
Yeah.
he was like, "Dude, look at this guy. He's so
it's
so cool, and
it's
he's
so-
so."
well,
Because
no.
normally, you don't associate. And again, Matt's loved animals his whole life.
Yeah.
Right? His whole life. But you don't. For some reason, I guess you don't always associate like strapping, like cool guys with. You don't. You think like they're like the guys that couldn't hang out in the cool cliques or the guys that go the other way. But Matt's broken all the molds when it comes to that. And I feel like Matt was when he showed me. I'm telling you.
What?
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
You don't know what I'm talking about? Well,
Joe
that's how
has
I
a-
feel.
Joe has
Because I'm
this-
not like the animal guy. I love
So
animals.
Joe's
but
stereotype of a cool guy is himself.
no,
Okay. Yeah, okay.
not
There
at
you
all.
go.
That is what the
mark that down for a social clip, would you? Because that'll be a good one for Andy. But no, I don't. It's just that you don't. Because I wasn't. I wasn't.
Joe
into
thinks all
animals
of us
growing
animal
up.
people are nerds.
No.
Yeah.
No, I just didn't. I wasn't into animals like Matt was. Like Matt had me searching for salamanders at like because we're like 3.5 years apart. He had me searching for bugs and lizards, building tadpole things in our backyard. That's what I did to bond with him. I was the guy.
But
that
did you want to do it?
I didn't want to do it.
Okay.
But I did it
Okay.
because I tried.
Yeah,
because you're a good brother.
yeah,
You're a
yeah.
good
Brother,
big
but-
bro.
But
Okay.
for me, I was always into like I loved cars and racing and automobiles and stuff like that. So
Gotcha.
that's what I loved. But and music, that's what
Okay.
I did. But it was fascinating to me his love of animals and he always broke the mold because he was a really cool guy who was super personable and he wasn't and yet also had a major passion for that. Was able to balance the two. So when he showed me, he was like, "This guy is so cool." And anyway. The baby squirrel that Andy found, and he could take
it's
you
just
through
so
that story.
fortuitous.
It's
that
just,
then-
I mean,
dude, the
I
paths.
saw him outside.
Yeah, we
when
met Uli
coming
out
in.
there.
Yeah.
Ulysses, right?
Ulysses,
Yeah,
which
Ulysses.
my mom named. It's a whole thing. I
It's a
said,
book.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Somehow, I was struggling with a name, and she my mom just wanted it to be Ulysses, and I let her have it.
Good.
Yeah.
You always
Name
gotta
her.
let mom
Yeah.
have a few
I mean, it's a good name.
I guess so.
Yeah.
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 I named all the other ones, and there's Gwen Stefani, Sheila E., Mark Wahlberg, Russell, but
Mark Wahlberg's the squirrel. He's
got-
always out of breath.
no, he's got
Yeah.
mange.
Okay.
Mark got mange. You ever know? I know.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
He
He
shows up like this,
showed
he's
up
like,
one
"Hey,
day.
Excuse me, do you have
all
a nut?
Mangy.
I was wondering if I
Yeah.
could have a nut. Just
Yeah.
one nut
So
would
wait,
be
hold,
great.
before we get into
That's the Mark
where
Wahlberg
did you?
squirrel.
Where are you from?
I'm from North Carolina.
Okay, and
So born in Durham, North Carolina, raised in Atlanta,
cool.
and then I was in Charlotte for 10 years before I moved to LA.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah,
family
yeah.
in North Carolina.
We
Yeah,
do.
we
Yeah.
do.
We do.
Our uncle lives in
Yeah.
North Carolina.
You know what part?
Where does he live? Mom would be able to tell us.
no idea.
No, because they just
Mom.
yeah, mom
Meatloaf.
Yeah.
Um,
y'all don't. Yeah.
What? Charlotte.
Charlotte. Oh, yeah.
So Charlotte.
Okay.
I knew it was right near Charlotte, but I didn't want to
Yeah.
say the wrong town because then I get
Yeah,
get
they'll
texts
get
from
you.
our cousins.
Uh-huh.
Neil would
Yeah,
be
I
like,
know.
"Bro, why are you?
Yeah,
You
how
don't
do we
even know
not
the
even
town
know?
we
Yeah,
live in."
I know.
I'm like, I
I
know,
know.
buddy, but we haven't been down there.
How
a
about
lot.
you come see your family?
I know,
Yeah,
I
I
know,
know,
I
I
know.
know.
It's the
Exactly right.
That's the next thing. So no, but we have cousins and our uncle Al. My mom's brother lives in Charlotte.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Charlotte's a cool,
It is.
cool city.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
You moved out to LA. You said 6 years ago.
6 years. So I moved I moved to LA to pursue acting.
Okay.
Wow,
Right.
okay.
So I got signed to an agency before I moved. And then I was like, oh yeah, I do have to live in LA to work.
Oh my gosh.
So I was
yeah.
like,
Which is-
okay, let me pack up my car. Packed up my car the
wow.
next week and drove out here. I had a friend that let me crash on his couch.
Yeah.
My first 5 auditions I booked back to back. It was like
What?
commercial work. Yeah. People was like,
What?
yo, that's unreal.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
Yeah,
unreal,
that's
bro.
unreal.
Yeah.
It
So
That's really
luckily that happened. So I had like a solid ground to stand on financially. And then like the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude, messed
uh,
everything up for
yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
right?
Worst timing of ever. That
Really,
I've
And then a
never-
strike.
I've been
and
doing
then
this
a-
since
oh
I was
my
5,
gosh.
right? So 43 years.
Yeah.
We have never seen anything like that. I mean,
Mhm.
we're
No.
literally there's no work. Like they
Yeah.
just shut everything down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they don't allow you
crazy.
to work.
Yeah.
Like even other industries, if you were in the right spot, right place, you could still work.
Mhm.
Like
Nope.
not
Nope.
happening.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It
It
was
was really wild.
It's crazy because it was a blessing for
Right.
me.
Yeah.
Right.
As a content creator,
Yeah.
a lot of companies and brands, they was like, oh, well, we can't do movies, we can't do TV shows or anything.
Totally.
But we still have to advertise and promote things.
Totally, dude.
So a
And
lot of
everybody's
business
on it now.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
even for us, because it kind of we stumbled
way
into
to
this
this pod.
podcast, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. See?
we did it
Yeah.
during COVID
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
were like, what are we going to do? The world's ending. Like, we got to do
Yeah.
something.
We got to figure out something.
Yeah.
We're creators
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. How can we still be creative?
Wow. Okay. So explain to me your squirrel journey. Like, how did you get there? How did that
What was
happen?
that pivot?
So,
Speaking of
yeah.
Yeah.
I was facing a lot of health issues.
Yeah.
I went to a lot of different specialists, doctors, and wasn't getting any answers. So every time I would not get an answer, like, you're okay, you're fine, it would send me into a very deep depression.
Yeah.
And my way for like finding peace out of all of that was to walk around my neighborhood and connect with nature. So I was forming these relationships with the squirrels in my neighborhood a year before I even posted content about it online.
Wow.
It was one day the squirrels were like running through my legs, and that never happened. So I was like, let me just sit down and like hit the record button and document this. Had that video on my phone for a good 2-3 weeks, and I decided to share a clip of it on Instagram.
What?
That video within the first hour went viral.
Dude, that's
And then-
awesome.
yeah.
Dude,
And-
that's
yeah.
a sign, man.
And
Like,
then
that's
I
how you
shared
know
it.
you're doing something like divinely right.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I believe that
Yeah.
wholeheartely. Yeah.
Mhm. I
That's
shared it online on TikTok, like after I put it on Instagram, and that changed it all.
Really?
Like I was at 30,000 followers on TikTok. I say within 2 weeks I was at 400,000 on TikTok.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Man,
Dude,
it
that's
was
so
it went
quick.
viral on every single
Dude, that's so
platform.
rad.
Wow.
Wow, bro.
Wow.
My friend was like, you need to, like, people gonna continue asking for this.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, okay, like this is something that I'm doing it. Like,
Get on the train because it's moving,
yeah.
man. Yeah.
So I just started making a series out of it.
Wow.
Built the house for them.
so cool, dude.
Yeah.
Installed the
House is
TV
cool.
inside of the house. They
Dude,
watch
yeah.
TV now, so
It's
It's so
Yeah.
rad.
Oh
I know.
my
amazing.
gosh.
I know.
It's so
Yeah.
cool.
What are they watching? I'm kidding.
Oh, it depends on which squirrel it is.
Really?
Yeah. Maxine, she watched her stories.
She loves watching herself, actually. She's obsessed.
Huh?
Maxine watches herself. She
Oh
watches
yeah.
her own
Oh,
story.
absolutely.
Oh my God.
But yeah, like I
Wow.
just started making it more fun for my audience to watch, right? Because again, I'm a creative at heart, so I was like, let me just figure out a way to incorporate other things that can bring more laughter and joy to people. So it's kind of interesting that I was going through such a dark time, and all of this light
Yeah.
came out of it for people, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at now. I released a children's book.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Armand's a
That's
huge.
fantastic.
She's a teacher and she's a reading specialist. She's a huge fan.
Oh.
She's a big supporter.
Armand,
so, yes.
Yeah.
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 What's the name of the book?
I'm glad that you asked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which camera should I?
Oh yeah.
And he just
Hand
hold on.
and
There you go,
Paw. Maxine's Tale of Compassion.
Love it, dude.
Yeah.
My gosh.
So it's telling the story of how I rescued Maxine's babies from a cut down tree. So it's based on a true story.
So yeah, tell us.
Tell us.
So
just
I went
yeah.
outside one day, and in my neighbor's yard there were landscapers doing work,
Yep.
and
Same thing.
something in my heart was like, I hope there aren't any like babies or they're not about to cut down like the nest.
Yeah.
And then like 10 minutes later I came back and I saw them like just looking at one of the small trees, and I was like, I went over there and saw the babies. They put the babies. I was on the small tree next to the sidewalk.
No.
And I was like, okay, we can't leave them here because there's people that's walking dogs. A dog can grab it, and
Yeah.
so I took them in.
How many were there?
4.
Wow.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
I had one.
Yeah,
4 is a lot.
4. And I was gonna try to take care of them myself, so I went to like a pet store, grabbed like some stuff that I could feed them, and my neighbor texted me. He was like, "Hey, Maxine is frantic right now. Like she just fell out of a tree, like, and she's looking
at her babies.
Yeah,
Dude.
I said, "Oh, they're her babies."
Thank goodness.
So yeah, I ran outside
Dude,
with the
oh.
babies, put them right next to her, and she took them one by one up another tree.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I documented all this. It's all on
Oh my
Instagram
gosh.
and TikTok.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dude.
So I was like, I want to give some I want to give people something that they can hold, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let me just tell the story
Brilliant.
of
Love
that, and it
Great,
became
man.
a #1 bestseller.
It's awesome,
Wow.
dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
that is
cool.
so
Yeah,
cool,
right.
man.
So
Thank
Yeah.
you.
That is
Thank
really
you.
cool.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me
Oh,
see it. This
absolutely.
is so cool. Oh my god! You know what's crazy is you guys said when you found Ulysses,
It's the same thing.
Well, so there's
Yes,
a tree,
there was a tree.
There's
in
a
our-
tree trimming season, and you're not supposed to cut your trees outside of this tree trimming season. But I think people still kind of do it.
Well, nobody really knows. It's kind of like we should almost get the word out there. There's a
Yeah.
specific time in LA that if you go and trim the
Spring
trees,
through,
you take a real serious jeopardy in cutting down nests.
Yeah.
The squirrel nests.
But here's the thing: even during that season for California,
Exactly.
if they see a nest and it's an active nest, they're not supposed to cut it down. They have to
Really?
trim around it. Yeah, they can't disturb a live nest.
Or that
So I didn't know that going into like when I found the babies. I didn't know that. I started doing research and I was like, they're not supposed to. They can get fined.
I didn't
for
know that either. Well, yeah, because the people
wow.
that trimmed the trees in our neighborhood didn't avoid the nest. They
In
took
fact,
it out.
they were long gone, and we walk out of the house and we see the same thing. We see a mother squirrel frantic, and then we didn't know what was going on because we couldn't find any of the babies. But I just see her. It was unbelievable.
She wasn't
Really,
frantic. She
it was
looked
really
shell-shocked.
sad.
Yeah.
She was literally just laying there
Oh
out in the
my
open,
gosh.
Yeah.
just staring up like I just lost
Yeah.
everything. You could
Yep.
see it in
Yeah.
her
You
eyes.
You could,
Yeah.
man.
She
You could.
genuinely had lost
Yep.
everything.
You could.
Yep.
And then
And then we found like a couple hours later there was one baby just running in our driveway, like back and forth, hiding under a bush, and you could tell that like he didn't have the strength to get up a tree.
no, you couldn't climb up a tree.
So we got him and then put him in a cardboard box, and we tried to put the box where we found the mother, but the mother never got the
back.
baby.
Yeah.
We came back later that night. The box was empty.
we thought,
So we thought, okay, thank goodness
took the
mom
baby, you know,
took. And
great.
then the next day at 11 a.m., I walk outside and I hear, and under the
Oh,
bush was
wow.
the baby. He must have gotten out of the box and
Wow.
crawled back.
and he
so-
was so cute. He tried so hard to like
was such a
muster up
fighter.
some strength.
Yeah.
Because when
To
I went
get
to go
up.
and try to get him,
Yeah.
he gave me like the "I'm gonna get you." You're like this look,
So
and he was
Matt-
like,
Matt
I
is-
picked him up.
Matt's
You
the
put him in
animal,
there.
like the family animal guy.
Uh-huh.
So I was the original intention was for Matt to care for this thing because I thought,
Yeah.
he'd be
Yeah.
good hands. But then Matt had to leave.
I had to leave.
He went away.
Yeah,
like
I
the
had-
next day,
I
like
had
within
work. I had work, and the first night he didn't eat, and I was like, oh man, this is not good. Because that first 24 hours is pretty crucial. He's obviously very dehydrated. He was struggling a bit. He didn't understand the bottle. It was also probably me. I had never hand fed a baby squirrel before. But then the second day, right, the day before I was about to leave, he started eating. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be all right.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I
He's
fed him and he
He's
ate.
gonna get it, yeah. But I mean, I got him to eat once too, and then I was okay. This is gonna be all right.
Which is
And
where
I
they
was
start
like,
arguing.
Andy,
Not as good as I got to feed
No,
him. Well,
Andy,
you got
listen.
to feed him. I fed him twice,
No,
guys.
I actually-
Just get back to the story.
I didn't
please.
do it. I didn't do it 100% accurate because Andy was right. I had a
figured it out.
plastic.
I figured out
I
how
had
to
a
do it.
plastic syringe, and with their little teeth, they could actually nick off the
The
plastic.
plastic,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
it's
Andy
actually,
took
no,
it to a whole nother level and
yeah.
got him the right.
the plastic.
nipples
I
in
actually
a
no, I don't
sense?
use
Yeah.
them. I actually
Yeah,
stopped
yeah.
using the nipples. The
Right.
plastic was the one, but you have to trim the plastic syringe halfway through the feedings because they chew the end of it and it starts
And
to
it starts to
and then they
stop
can eat
the-
it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Because
Or
they can
swallow
like
and
chew it off. So,
ingest
so
it, yeah.
I would feed them the nipples. They would pull right off.
Well, the thing is, when they're so small, and it was probably maybe a month or two.
Yeah, he was
Had to be.
He had a little bit of fur.
Their
so-
body has
yeah.
to be warm
Yeah.
before you feed them.
Mm.
Because if their body is cold, they won't eat.
Mhm.
Okay, there you
And
go.
if you try to force them to eat, then it can cause them to
Aspiration or something?
regurgitate
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
possibly,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that was the problem that first night because he was definitely not warm. And then when I got a heat blanket or a heat
Mhm.
pad that I used
Yep.
to heat it up, that's when he started eating.
Yep.
Wow, interesting, man.
Mhm.
Amazing.
I learned a lot through this process,
Me
this journey.
too, bro.
You know,
like
like
so much, man. So much.
and the squirrels over here, they're fox squirrels.
yes.
Really?
So fox squirrels, they actually come from the
Yep.
East Coast.
Really?
The squirrels that I think are native to California, I believe are ground squirrels.
Exactly
They're
right.
near like the beach.
Exactly right.
yeah, I've seen a
Uh-huh.
bunch of them.
I love ground squirrels.
Yeah.
Actually,
They're
I
cool.
wish.
Yeah, those things are fast.
Dude,
Hey.
those are
out in
So
out
cool.
in Simi Valley, I spent some time out there, and there was a bunch of ground squirrels on my friend's property, and a bunch of the guys that worked there. We befriended them, and one of the ground squirrels would take my friend Brandon and take him to her nest and show all the nuts and like show all of her stuff. It was so because they're on the ground, so it's easy for them to do it. Oh, it was so cool. It was so cool.
Yeah, I don't have a relationship with a ground squirrel.
I don't either. Not yet. Not yet.
Right. Yeah, it's always
same. Same.
So the fox squirrels, that's cool because we're all East Coast, so that we have the East Coast squirrels around here. We're from Philadelphia.
Okay.
So, and we had a lot of squirrels growing up.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Philadelphia area.
They are the most. Once you start hanging out with them, they're just so personable. They have such distinct personalities.
Yep.
They really
We were
do.
talking because the guys are a little bit feistier. The female squirrels seem to be like they are a little bit sweeter.
They are.
They're flirts.
They are.
They're total flirts.
Mhm.
They stand there.
But you got to understand, the mother squirrels, they have to provide for their young.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
they're going to be more approachable, especially if you have food.
Makes sense.
Right? So for the male squirrels, they're just like, all right, they're very territorial.
Yeah.
If another squirrel come around, they're going to, hood rat Raymond.
Is that it?
So this is one of the shirts that I'm dropping.
Dude,
I made.
It's a great shirt.
I love
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, hood rat Raymond. He don't play no
I
games.
ain't the one to nibble with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So I changed the design a little bit. It's not going to have the bubble. It's going to have just the text here.
Cool.
Yeah, and I'm dropping it in like 2 days.
Really?
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
cool.
Well, look out for the
Yeah.
shirt, everybody.
Yeah, I got to send y'all.
Dude,
some
oh,
shirts.
if
yeah.
you
man.
we'll wear them.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
for
you
sure.
definitely have to wear it.
I'll wear it.
He'll wear
Yeah.
it.
I'll wear it.
Yeah.
I will
The
definitely wear
animal guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, you
I'll wear
definitely
it.
have to wear it.
I'll wear it.
And send
I'll
me
wear
a
it.
picture.
I will do
Yeah.
it. I will send you
All
the
right.
picture. I promise.
Okay.
I promise. Yeah. Size small, please, because I shop at Baby Gap.
Okay,
according
I got
to
you.
these guys.
I got you.
Yeah, he does. He likes his stuff real
Yeah.
tight.
I mean, the guns are showing.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
not tight.
Yeah.
It's just I don't wear
not-
things
It's not
tight.
tight. It's
overly-
just fitted.
The sleeves aren't even.
There you
They're
go.
like.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
your t-shirt is.
Yeah,
I would say your
absolutely.
t-shirt just fits
Yeah.
well, right? There's a difference between fitting well and it being ridiculously tight.
Yeah.
You just want it to fit well.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't
Yeah.
like. I'm not big into. I did the whole baggy thing, like
Mhm.
massively baggy clothes in
When?
the '90s when I
Yeah.
was a kid, and
You said-
like I just.
don't
I
recall.
don't remember this.
Yeah,
dude,
we had the.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess
yeah.
you're
Baggy
right.
jeans.
Okay,
Oh,
you're
yeah,
right,
yeah, we did
Even
that.
those shirts mom would put me in.
Yeah.
I mean,
They were dresses.
Dude, they were
Yeah.
dresses, yeah. So and I just don't want to go back to that.
Yeah.
I don't mind the slightly wider jeans are coming back and stuff. I like that,
Mhm.
but I like it when it's more fitted. I
Yeah.
don't like these super
Yeah.
huge baggy stuff. I made that mistake once. I don't want to do it again.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
Anyway, but I love that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Wow. So we have fox squirrels around here.
They're so cool,
Mhm.
man. They're so fun.
Now, will they? Because what's crazy is that Walt Disney loved squirrels. Loved squirrels.
I did not know.
Yes. And he was obsessed. Matter of fact, in a movie called Sword in the Stone, he put a whole squirrel sequence in there. If you've
Yeah.
never seen that,
Mm-mm.
and it's really neat.
Okay.
If you ever have
But
the
when
opportunity,
you go to the Disney lot,
the Disney line in
the original
Burbank.
Disney lot in Burbank, the
Okay.
old school grounds, he befriended the squirrels, and part of the mandate was the employees, they all had to be friendly to the squirrels, and the squirrels generationally now
Yeah, they're
have
so.
grown up.
Really?
They'll
Oh,
just
yeah.
come right up to you.
They're not afraid.
Oh man, I
Dude,
gotta go
you
there.
You gotta go there.
So I was thinking,
What?
like,
You
of
got-
all
dude,
people,
yeah.
you need to take
Yes.
the camera and get
Yeah.
on the Disney lot.
Dude, they
because
are.
Yes.
I bet, dude, they literally come and
It's
sit right next to you.
It's,
Normal
it's,
squirrels.
it's,
like,
it's a thing that they're called the Disney squirrels.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
they're like a movie. They'll come up and they'll hang out.
Are
and
you
chat. Dude,
serious?
it's
Yes.
unbelievable.
But
Without even knowing it, they'll
generationally,
just come right up.
it's
Yeah.
because generationally they've been raised
Yeah.
with no fear.
Humans, yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
will squirrels? Because you're saying like the squirrels around here. So will squirrels will a family of squirrels, or will certain squirrels just say like, "This is my home," and then they'll just have babies around here, or do they
Yes.
venture?
Mm-mm.
So
they
they
don't go far.
No.
They don't go far.
Yeah, yeah,
I think it's like a
So-
mile. I read online like they venture like a mile or two, and that's about it.
Yeah.
They'll come back.
Yeah, yeah.
They
If
don't-
they have to search for food, but
Yeah.
if they know food is 50 feet away, like there's not much for them to do unless they're building nests. So the female squirrels, they build multiple nests just in case a tree gets cut
No
down.
way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when I reunited the babies with Maxine, there was another nest she already had.
backup
so she took
pad.
them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, she took them to the high rise.
No way.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, the
Yes.
condo.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Penthouse.
that.
Yeah.
It's so good, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
I did
That
not know
is
that.
Yeah, so
awesome.
squirrels are very great planners.
Hmm.
They plan for anything.
They're like preppers.
Disaster. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's true because
cool.
they're always stashing nuts everywhere.
Yeah.
right.
Uh-huh.
right.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah,
always
most of them
preparing.
they don't find.
Yeah, they
but-
forget.
Right, I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Mhm.
Which is an
So
interesting
good.
relationship because, I was also reading that squirrels, are actually a good judge of the health of the environment because there's a symbiotic relationship between squirrels and the forest itself because, like you said, they would plant or they would stash all these nuts in the ground.
Yep.
And then they would forget where a lot of them are, and of course, those would grow new saplings and keep the health of the forest growing. So they're actually, there's a real important part that they do play in an ecosystem.
Yes.
That's
They're great farmers.
Yeah,
They really are.
right? Yeah, amazing.
They grown some, like I fed them corn before, and they hid the kernels. Corn grew.
Are you
like
serious?
Yes. Corn.
Oh my goodness.
Tomatoes.
Really?
Yes.
I gotta give.
Like right outside, I have this little planter on the side of my building, and yeah,
That stuff's just growing there.
Mhm.
Wow, isn't that cool?
You got to
Yeah.
go to the Disney lot, dude. You
I'm-
got to
I'm-
go
I'm
to. You
down.
have
Yeah,
to. And you have to
that's-
document
yeah.
it because I think you of all people going in there
it
would
just
be,
makes sense.
oh,
It'd
it
be
would
so
be
fun.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really fun.
because that's what somebody told me. One of the guides, I've had so many meetings there over the years because we've worked for the Disney company on and off for years. And I remember one of the executives that was there said they have people there that sort of look out for the squirrels, and watch out for the squirrel. But there are generational families. They have
Oh, yeah,
traced
for
genealogy
sure.
since
Yeah.
whenever it opened, 1940 something.
Yeah,
He opened
dude.
that lot.
Yeah.
It's the same families. So they grow up with zero fear.
Yeah.
They actually take them over to the people. Like the parents, like the moms will go, come on, we're good.
That is
Dude,
Yeah.
there is
amazing.
about everybody. They're not skittish at all. You sit down on a bench,
Yeah.
a perfect
They're gonna sit
stranger.
right
Yeah,
next
they'll
right
come
here.
right next to you.
How your
Oh,
day
yeah, what's
been?
going on?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
super
so
cool.
neat.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
man.
you got
Yeah,
it. You
it's
got
the
it.
best.
You got to
I'm
go,
going.
man. You got to go.
I'm going.
That is so cool. Wow. So all right. So what do you see now? You got the book, right? You're gonna drop some merch and all this stuff, and everybody obviously, loves your journey with all this, right? And you've filled this incredible void that I think most people didn't even imagine existed, which
Yeah.
is so cool about a void when you create a space and it's a void that needed to
Well,
be filled, which is so cool.
It's people don't know this, but squirrels were one of the most popular pets
I love them.
back in the 1900s.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
are such cool animals, and they're just so personable.
Yep.
And I feel like that's like forgotten. People
Yeah.
don't
So,
understand.
the fox squirrel got here because of the military. The military used to have pet squirrels.
See,
Really?
But yeah, I don't know all the history behind it, but they had to release the squirrels. They couldn't have them anymore. And fox squirrels started populating California.
Wow.
how crazy
Yeah.
is that, dude?
Mm-hmm.
Are you allowed to own a squirrel as a pet?
No,
You're not,
No.
right?
it's illegal.
Now why? But like, why?
I don't
Well,
know.
You're allowed to have a parakeet. Which
Well, I
to
think
me,
because honestly,
I don't know what purpose
most
that
people couldn't
serves.
provide.
I know people love the parakeets, but like,
It's
I mean,
it's the relationship with the squirrel that's so treasured.
Mm-hmm.
But to provide them a proper life, it's probably unethical to keep them in a cage. And most people,
right, in a
most
cage,
people
right.
wouldn't take on the time
That
or
makes sense.
the effort that it would require to just create that relationship and let them live in their natural habitat. You know what I mean? Like I know when I had my squirrel, I struggled with letting him go. I really did. Like I was like, gosh, I really like once I opened this door.
Love 'em.
I might never
Love
see
him.
him again, or maybe
him
a
just
predator, whatever it is. Even if the intention is pure, but ultimately
was
he
clear.
needed
He
he
needed
needed
to
to
get
go.
out.
Yep.
He had to
That's
go.
how I felt
Yeah.
about the babies, and I only had them
Exactly.
for a few hours.
Dude, I know.
I was like, oh, I know your mama right outside, but I just want
I
they're
know,
so cute
I
and
know.
cuddly, and
She gonna take care of
yeah,
you.
But she did,
Yeah.
Maxine.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now look at the relationship you have with the whole, with all of them, because they all know.
They show up now, so we got Niblet, we got Nibbeline, we got Consuela. She don't be understanding me much, really,
Nice.
because I'm not bilingual.
Language
But,
barrier.
yeah.
Oh
But she
my
come
gosh.
around.
Oh my
Yeah, it's
God.
a
Wow.
It's
family
amazing,
affair.
dude. I love
Yeah.
the one that you don't maybe click with, or the one that you can't form the best relationship with is bilingual.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, she doesn't get me. Yeah.
Every time I come out on the patio, she just take
Nice.
off.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow, isn't that funny? I wonder
It
what
is.
in her background made her so skittish about that. Like why other ones were trusting and why some are not.
Maybe she was
Bad encounter.
Yeah, maybe she had a bad encounter with a human. I think it's probably what
I
happened.
just
Somebody was
don't.
swatting her
I
away.
just think she don't understand English.
Oh,
Well, that's what it is.
Maybe that's,
That's
what it
what
is.
What it is.
Yeah,
I have
I
this
think
one.
You're right.
She's so sweet. Like every time I give her a nut and I go to scratch her, she doesn't run away. She I don't even
Cowers?
know. Cowers.
Oh,
And her
really?
eyes squint, and she
Oh,
almost.
okay.
And I'm like, I'm just gonna give you a little scratch, and she doesn't run away though. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? It's like it's so odd.
We call that trauma.
I know.
Something that- yeah.
Dude, I know.
Yeah.
No, that's what it is, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's-
you seem like a trauma,
Yeah.
ridden
Yes.
squirrel. Then I
Something
give her a little
happened.
scratch, and then she kind of is okay. I'm trying to break through it,
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you, the boys
Wow.
really are funny though. 'Cause,
Oh,
man,
one mauled you up the other day.
Not-
That was like,
no.
he was so
Gotcha.
funny.
No.
yeah. Not really bite.
This is the
Just,
thing.
just decided to
This-
take the nut and then
Yeah.
claw me
Oh.
to get
Yeah,
me
yeah.
to go away.
Oh, he got
And I was
nut
like,
crazy.
What is going on?
yeah, we were talking about that. The males go nut crazy. It's a thing. Like that, they're really sweet and they beg you for a nut, then you give it to them, and then they want nothing to do with you.
Now, I guess it depends on where it happened,
Typical
right?
guy.
So, like with Richard,
They beg you to
That
hang
is
out with him,
hilarious.
and then they just.
They get what they want.
Believe
They
me,
took
I have
his
all
side.
daughters. I have all daughters, man. I have all daughters, surrounded by a lot of women. Yeah, female energy. It's great, but it is
Yeah.
very different than male energy. It just
Uh-huh.
is, which is a beautiful thing. It should be, actually. It's designed that way, I
Yeah.
think. But, man, I'll tell you, guys, I hear all about their POV of guys, and it really is true. Like, please hang out with me. And then as soon as you do, they're like, I don't want anything to do with you. Get out of here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's
It's awful.
the truth.
The
And then they
wrong
leave, you're like,
guys. The
please hang out
wrong
with me. You know,
guys.
Yeah.
these guys, us
Okay,
guys.
So
All right.
what's the scenarios that you're talking about
Yeah.
where maybe this would be? I would get more aggression from a male squirrel.
if they're like cornered or anything. So I know with Richard, I tried to feed him one time. He was inside of the house.
Mm.
And I
Take that
reached my
territorial,
hand
huh?
inside, and he did that noise, like,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
back up, like we're cool, but
Yeah.
hey, I'm still wild, buddy. So
I'm
I guess
unpredictable, man. I don't know what's going on in here.
Uh-huh.
I'm a little
I'm a
crazy.
little
I'm
nuts.
nuts. I'm nuts. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yeah.
All right, go.
So I think it just depends on when you feed them
Okay.
and where at. Like if they feel safe, I don't think they would be
Yeah.
aggressive.
Yeah.
But you
No,
never
I
know.
think you're right because so he had come off the tree and was on the front porch, and I could tell he was already like on the ground feeling unsure about himself. I'm sure if it was maybe in a tree it would have been different, but on
Yeah.
the ground he took the nut and then was like,
Yeah.
get out of here.
Get out of here.
The thing,
I appreciate it, but bye.
Yeah.
the thing
Yeah.
about the tree that you have to
Yeah.
be careful of is sometimes when you give them the nut, they'll reach and they'll grab on
Yes.
to your
that-
hand,
yes.
and if you get scared and you pull away,
Oh, yeah.
They'll-
the claws will shred
Yeah.
you,
They're
and they don't.
so
And they don't
sharp.
mean it.
No, they don't mean it.
Yeah.
But they will. They will. So you have to make sure that they
So
let go.
sharp.
Yeah.
What is it, like Wolverine claws?
Dude,
They
Oh,
are
yes.
Really?
the
Bro,
sharpest.
yes.
I mean, I've got iguanas, okay? And you think iguanas have sharp nails? No. Squirrels
They
have
can
way
scale-
sharper
Yeah.
nails.
They can scale anything. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
with
true,
their,
right.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's true.
So they'll grip on you, and you're like, you just do not move your hand away because if you pull,
Oh,
you're gonna
shred.
get
It's
shredded.
one of
Yep.
those. What are those things? Remember, you used to put your hands in them.
Like Chinese
Oh,
finger trap.
yeah,
Oh,
trying to figure.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
if you did it quickly, you
Kind
could not
of.
get. You had to be very,
Kind
like,
of.
you know.
But
Very
honestly,
placid with that.
I've been. I mean, knock on wood.
Yeah, Andy's been.
I've spent a lot of time with these squirrels scratched.
Andy's been
and-
like a creepy
and they've-
squirrel
and they've
whisperer,
never-
unexpectedly.
Yeah,
Andy,
yeah.
yes.
I haven't gotten any no diseases
Yeah.
or like they're pretty clean.
Well, there's people will tell me, don't allow Maxine to bite you, or don't let a squirrel bite you because you'll get rabies. Squirrels don't carry rabies.
They don't, right?
They don't.
Dude,
They don't carry
really?
rabies.
I didn't know
Mm-mm.
that. Are you
Nope,
kidding me?
You cannot get rabies. There's not one documentation of
Wow.
a person getting
Rabies
rabies
from
from a
squirrels.
squirrel.
Yeah, it's
Isn't that
it's not
great?
gonna
The
Yeah.
misconception, the leaps that people just take without
Yeah.
doing the proper research is
yeah.
wild.
Are they
Yeah.
clean animals?
Dude,
Like,
there's-
are they like cats? Do they preen themselves? I know cats will clean themselves. Birds
Yeah,
will too.
they
but
do.
Do they?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because
Now
like
they do carry some disease, or they
Mites.
can
Yeah.
carry some diseases. I'm not sure what they are. But
Bordetella or something. They
what
can
about
carry.
mites and stuff? Do they have like little
Yeah,
mites and
so
things
they-
like that?
They can have
Uh-huh.
mites and fleas.
Mhm.
Those are the fleas are the ones
Yeah.
when I had my baby, I combed him, dude.
And
And
flea
dude,
combed him.
yeah.
I couldn't believe this.
Really?
It took me probably 3 hours. I sat there for 3 hours trying to, and just eventually tired out this little baby squirrel enough that he let me comb him.
Yeah.
And I picked out 2 giant fleas. I
They're
mean,
big fleas.
they were the biggest fleas I've
It
ever
means they were
seen.
females, so that's good that you got them.
When I
because
was
they would've laid
feeding him, I saw his little fur go like it was rolling. I was like, "Oh God, there's something
Really?
on him."
Yeah.
So I got my dog's flea comb and a piece of Scotch tape, and I went through and on a baby squirrel, it's really hard to flea comb
Yikes.
a baby
Yeah.
squirrel. But I got him off, and I also learned because fleas are a pain in the butt. I hate fleas, especially in the valley, in the San Fernando
They're
Valley.
so
they
prevalent
they
here.
get
It's
really prevalent
crazy.
in the summers and the heat and stuff. You can actually treat squirrels with flea medication. The stuff, the front line that you drop on the back of dogs, you just have to use a very little
Oh, yeah.
amount.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you can treat squirrels for fleas. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna totally do that because I hang out with the squirrels so much and they're always around Shmi that I'm gonna figure out the right amount.
Yeah.
You got to be very careful because you don't want to poison anybody, you know.
Yeah.
But you can actually, while you're feeding them, just a little drop of the flea medication on their upper back, and you'll treat the entire squirrel population for fleas.
Wow.
And if a nest becomes infected with fleas, the mother squirrel will relocate the babies too.
No way.
Really?
See, they don't like fleas either.
Yeah, they don't like fleas.
Really?
Yeah.
Smart.
And you said your
Smart.
squirrels come back around, right? You know all yours. You said
Oh, yeah.
Maxine was in the house.
Yeah.
She was in the
Maxine,
house.
yeah.
She
You know,
comes
she
in?
come in the house. We watch a little bit of Netflix.
Dude, are
Wow.
you serious?
Yeah, I've showed videos of that before.
Bro,
She'll like sit on the couch, on the head of the couch.
mine won't come in the house.
Yeah.
I think it's because
But now I have a cat, right? So, it's a little
man.
different.
Oh,
cat?
Yeah.
shit.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's awesome.
Uh-huh. I
Yeah.
got an orange tabby.
Oh, shit.
And Mango, he, I don't know if they would get along.
Oh,
and I'm
boy.
not trying to find out.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
Wow.
So
Yeah.
we have a neighborhood cat that caught on to where I feed the squirrels
You need
and
to
would
change
would
everything up.
show up, and you could tell because all the squirrels would start barking
Mhm.
and they would go up to the high ground.
Yep.
And then I realized, oh god, they're telling
the
me
cat.
there's a cat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
so-
trying to warn you, probably.
They totally are, dude.
Yeah.
They're like,
Like,
oh,
go
yeah,
back in the
exactly,
house.
Yeah, there's a cat.
It ain't safe for you.
It's here. Cat, it's here. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
Wow.
dun,
All
dun.
right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. All
That
right.
is-
But it's an indoor cat,
Yes.
so you won't.
Yes.
So you.
Well,
so-
I just got a leash for him.
okay. So you take him out for a
You
while, but
know.
it's not like
Yeah, I'm about to be that cat. Dad.
That's cool.
Yeah,
No, I would do the same thing, dude.
Yeah.
Mango's not going to terrorize the squirrels out on the
No.
patio. Yeah,
Got it.
That's
got it.
amazing.
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah.
So where do you see this, do you see it, or are you just playing it by ear? Where do you see this going in the next couple years for you with this whole thing?
If you would have
An
asked
animated
me,
series? What do you see?
if you would have asked me
All of
that before this happened, I wouldn't have had an answer for you.
Okay.
But I found purpose
Yeah.
in this.
Yes.
So I see it all,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm planning a tour for the book.
Cool.
So I'm going on tour to
Great.
probably either 6 or 7 different cities.
That's fantastic.
I'm working on 2 shows.
Cool.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
man.
I feel like you could. I feel like you
there's
could do
so
a,
much,
you could do
dude.
like a live action show,
Mhm.
almost like an interactive squirrel habitat show, where
Mhm.
whether you'd host it or not, or be a part of it, just control everything. I don't know. That'd be obviously your journey, but I feel like that'd be interesting. And I just looking through the book. By the way, the illustrations in this book
Fantastic.
are fantastic.
Thank
I
you.
love the style of illustration.
Thank you.
It's very old school, which I love.
Mhm.
I love that it looks
Mhm.
like it's hand drawn.
Yes.
I grew up and I made all my girls watch the like old school, like Looney Tunes and the Flintstones,
Yes.
and
Yes,
I,
yes,
and I
yes.
prefer the original Disney cartoons, like
Mhm.
the way that they looked. Growing up, even in the '80s, like with He-Man, Masters of the Universe, G.I. Joe, it was all hand drawn, and I
Yes.
really appreciate that. So many of these modern day animated things are just so CGI,
Yes.
and
Yep.
you do lose. Like it's cool, and I appreciate the colors, but you lose something in the flicker. You lose something in the drawing itself
Mhm.
of the eyes. You lose a lot of that. Even in the newer movies that look
Yep.
great. You look at those old animated Disney movies, dude, there is something really magical about
Yeah.
like, Peter Pan and Sword in the Stone in these movies, Cinderella, like just beautiful things. And you
Yes.
really feel something.
Well, it's. I think that the human element brings a level of warmth
Yes.
that
The-
is
the
that's
computer
not
does
there
not.
with the
It just
with,
does not.
with the artificial stuff.
It just
I
does
don't know
not.
why,
True.
but it's just not there.
But the illustrations of this book are
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
I was thinking if you were to do an animated series about a
That'd be
squirrel
awesome.
and use this as the archetype for the way
To
that
build
you wanted
off
them
of.
to
Yeah.
feel in terms of their drawings, dude, that would be. I'm telling you, man. I
Yeah.
mean, you're probably already doing that. And,
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much.
yeah.
I already knew that, and I'm doing that.
Yeah.
But
Welcome to the
I
party
always-
show. Welcome to the party.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I always state the extreme
Well, when you
obvious.
see the success of like a Bluey or
Yes!
something,
Oh,
I
for
mean,
sure.
I think squirrels are far more interesting.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think there's so many more different types of storylines you could do, and I think kids would really relate to
Yeah.
that too.
And exactly, they can relate to it because it's an animal that they see every
Right.
day.
Every
Isn't that
day.
awesome?
You know?
It's true.
But we also look past squirrels
I know.
I
because
know.
we see them every day.
I
We don't
know.
really think too much about it.
You
I
do
know.
not.
So now, because I have this platform, and now people are taking, I guess, another look at who squirrels are, what they
Yeah.
are, what they do.
Really cool.
I'm just grateful that I can show or shine a light on this particular creature.
Absolutely,
Great,
man.
That is so cool.
I love-
I
yes.
really respect that.
Same.
I admire that a lot.
I was driving my middle daughter Libby today to her friend's house, her bestie's house. We were coming up this road, and she lives up in the hill. And there was a squirrel because ever since I've always liked squirrels, but ever since Andy had this journey, we've become aware of it. So it's so funny because I see them everywhere now, and I watch them, and they're so interesting to watch.
Yeah.
The way they do things, the way they, it's just they're they're all like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. All the
Yes.
dun, dun.
Yes.
I'm gonna run here. Oh, nobody saw me. It's like everybody saw you, but
Yes.
yeah. I think I did it. He's not looking. He's not looking, and we're still staring right at him. But he's sitting in the middle of the road. This guy, middle of the road, and he's full arch. When they stand up like that, full arch, and he's just examining something. He says, and I'm sitting here in my car, and Libby's like, Dad, how long are we gonna wait? Because she wanted to get to her friend's house. Like, we gotta wait till he's done.
Yeah.
So we're just sitting here. I'm in this big car. He's just he saw us. He was like, no joke. Like,
Just kind of like
chilled off to the side. He was totally drenched. He had something. It wasn't a nut. It was something he was examining. He wasn't eating it. And anyway, that was just this morning.
Yeah.
So you notice these guys,
They're-
like you said.
Thank you for stopping.
Yes.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
I have a heart attack now.
Yeah,
Every time I
yeah.
see one, I'm like,
oh my God,
road. Well, I don't think their timing is always the best because they're always like, here it comes, here it comes. I'm going for it. No.
No, I know.
It's like the downbeat. You did that. That's not the right one.
Yeah.
Especially
Especially the babies, because they're still trying to figure out
Yeah,
the street life.
Yes.
for sure.
Scares
And they
me.
play a lot. So they'll chase each other and then run out in the street. And then
Yeah, I know.
sometimes it
That's the
happens,
worst.
unfortunately.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah,
It does.
a long time ago,
Street life.
in this neighborhood.
Yeah, come on now.
That's-
I coin a lot of good
that-
phrases.
Honestly,
That is
'cause
good.
that's
Well, I mean, in street life.
No,
I
but-
ain't
no, but-
coined that one, but
no, but that actually is that's a cool way to describe them and what they do.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Like it takes on a totally different meaning when you say it and you're thinking about squirrels.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, because they have to
That's what I like
learn,
about it.
like, we're in their habitat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, they have to learn a new way of living because we build the roads and everything
Mhm.
in their habitat. So it's unfortunate that
It
we
is.
have people who really don't give a concern
Nope.
and just
Nope.
speed through, especially like residential streets. It's
Gotta be
crazy.
careful.
I know.
Well, that's
But-
crazy on its face,
Right,
right?
right.
Value, yeah. But also, secondly, because it's their habitat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's the road stuff is brutal.
Oh, it's terrible. Especially, I'm a reptile guy, and roads are like the worst thing for reptiles because reptiles
They're drawn to the heat
they're
to charge.
cold-blooded. So, a cement or
Walking up here today, I saw a big bluebelly
yeah,
just sitting in the
Well,
middle.
of course, because
right in the middle of the
street.
cement or a black top that draws in
He was
all
sitting
this
there like
heat.
this. He was going like this. I don't know what he was doing.
Doing the push-ups. Well,
Whatever-
that's,
yeah.
that's
What are you
a
doing, mating?
territorial signal or a
Oh.
mating signal. You use it for two
Okay.
different reasons, either to warn off males or to call in
Oh, wow.
females.
Right,
but,
right.
And the blue colors on the reason why they're blue bellies on the sides is when they raise up and they kind of purse their belly down to the ground, they expose the blue, and the amount of blue will tell a female how
Oh, okay.
macho this
Check
male
this out,
is.
baby.
Yeah.
Look at this blue.
Wow.
Look how blue I am under
Yeah.
here.
And then vice versa.
You see this, girl?
Yeah.
Come on and get this.
Exactly right. That's exactly right.
Come on and get all this blue.
Exactly right. And
that
then
is so funny.
and then to another
is so
male
funny.
that is maybe an adolescent,
Right.
look,
Oh,
look
yeah.
at all this blue, buddy.
Right. You don't want a piece of
You
this.
don't want
Yeah.
a piece of this.
Yeah.
I'm a full-grown
You
man.
know, and
Ah.
a lot of I actually really admire that in the animal kingdom. A lot of it is to prevent violence.
That's
Whereas
a great
humans,
point.
it's so interesting. A lot of us go directly to violence.
Right.
But animals, when you really go, even males or
Several warning
male
systems.
lions, when you
Right.
go all the way to the top of the predation, food chain, you see a lot of it. Bears, the same thing. A lot of it is let's not do this. Let's
Yep.
not do this versus like let's do this.
Right.
And it's so interesting. I wish that humans as a species could
That's a very
could
interesting point.
take a lot more of this from the rest of the animal kingdom, where it's about preventing violence.
There's a lot
And
of
violence
almost
is the last possible.
There's a lot of preventative fail safes that
Yes,
they build
exactly.
into it before a confrontation. That's actually
Exactly.
really cool.
exactly.
Yeah, they do this. They go over there and
exactly.
schmeeze up.
Well, it's because
You just
usually
pass some gas,
because
so
in
wait till you
because
see that coming your way, you're gonna love it.
in
Well, that's all.
Oh,
nature.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it's
yeah.
there.
Oh,
in-
yeah,
yeah.
it's
There
strong.
yeah, it's
he
good.
just it
Yeah.
woke him up. He's
It's
like,
Yeah,
pure.
that's why
smell
you're
that? What the hell is that?
It's
like
pure.
It's you. It's you.
In nature, violence is
Guys,
necessary.
he'll clear a room. this guy.
Humans, it's not necessary.
You taste it.
That's the big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real. I wish we could be more like that. There's
The
a lot of
animal
things we
kingdom.
could learn from squirrels.
But I like the street
Yeah.
life. I really
Yeah.
do like that. Going back to that, I like it a lot. That's real because you don't think about it that
Well,
way.
yeah,
but
we've changed
My
90% of the globe at
My-
this point.
yeah,
my Dr. Stein, who's a veterinarian, very cool guy. I brought my squirrel to the vet
Oh,
because he wasn't when they're young, you have to stimulate them, right? So you have to get
to use the
you have to
the
get
bathroom, the pee and poo.
I've got this for a second.
Okay.
So you have to get a Q-tip or a piece of toilet paper and dip it in water, and go up from their neck down to their privates like their mother would to stimulate them to go to the bathroom. And if you do not stimulate them, they will die.
Yeah.
They'll blow up.
Yep.
Pee and poop.
Yep.
So I was freaking out because I couldn't get
Before they learn how to do it on their own.
correct.
Right.
So
Do they stimulate themselves as adults?
No, they just go.
Oh, they just go. Okay.
Yeah,
Grow
they
up.
just go.
Hold
Yeah.
on a minute.
Yeah.
Gotta go to the bathroom. Hold on a second.
I mean, honestly,
That'd be very
it kind of works. If you ever, if you ever have the stomach issues, you just give it a nice little rub down.
I mean,
you're
yeah.
like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
actually, actually, you can. Some people can get into your colon and force out. Like that's a real thing.
Yeah.
I've actually
I mean,
seen
it's
this on social
yeah.
like
media.
massage,
Exactly.
stomach massage.
Yeah,
You can
Exactly.
get-
Yeah. So
yeah.
it makes
That's
a lot
true.
of sense that's especially anyway. So long story short, I took him to the vet and Stein because I had Shmi and I'm obsessed with my French bulldog and I was like, is the Squirrel? Can I have them together? Should I keep them separate? Are there diseases I need to worry about? What's the deal? And he's like, don't worry about it. They'll be totally fine. He actually rescued a baby squirrel. He's like, I rescued him. We hung out. On the release day, I took him outside. He runs up a tree and then runs over to a telephone line. And he's never been on a telephone line before and falls off, breaks his leg. He's like, I had to pick him up and take him back and heal his leg. And then I trained him to walk on a rope.
Inside.
And now, and then I released him, and now he's fine. Moral of the story is, to your point, humans have added so many obstacles. To your point, to the street life, to these animals that we've really set them up for failure. They have to go out of their way now to learn all of this stuff that doesn't exist in nature and conquer it just to survive. So yeah. Anyway, I don't know where.
That is
Yeah,
really
well,
cool.
the cool thing is that Andy found this out, and he was like, Matt, we need ropes and wires.
Yeah.
Immediately.
They built all these
So
like
he-
American
Oh,
Gladiator.
y'all put
Yeah.
like ropes inside.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
house to, like,
to get him to
oh, that's
train him.
amazing.
Trained him how to do it.
Yeah.
to do it.
We
so-
also, when we got him, it was in the winter, and then I read that you're not supposed to release him during like the
Well,
torrential
it was going
rain.
in. It was fall,
and
Andy, so it was going in.
going into winter, and then we had that really rainy winter.
Yeah.
So he was with me the whole winter. Like I kept him the whole time. You know.
You guys had them. Yeah, you had to keep them safe.
Dude, they are so messy.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude, they.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
they're gonna go whenever they want to
Bro,
go.
they
yeah.
between the shells or the debris from the food or their poop and
Yep,
pee. I mean, it is.
yep.
They are just the messiest little dudes and girls. It's
Where do they go outside? Do they just go everywhere?
They don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just wherever.
They just go wherever. Yeah.
they're eating and pooping at
Yep.
the same time.
Yep.
And you're like,
We
what?
had an uncle like that. It was very
What?
strange. He just,
Oh my God, no.
hey, what are you doing? This is what are you, a squirrel? That's all right.
Family dinners were always
They're horrible,
always
horrible.
messy.
Food
Yeah.
got
A lot of
everywhere.
cleanup.
You know what's funny too? I have a one of the enclosures for my reptiles out there, and it has a metal rim around the plexiglass. And every morning at about 6:30, 7 in the morning, you hear this like this gnawing, and they're filing their teeth.
Yes.
Because squirrels' teeth
Squirrels
probably never stop growing.
Yep.
So if they don't file them down,
Really?
they'll actually grow to the point where they can't eat
Yeah.
anymore.
No, it could kill
You
them.
can kill them.
Really?
So yeah, their teeth will continue to grow. If they don't file them down, the bottom teeth will just grow into their skull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And also, the female squirrels produce in their entire lifespan. Their reproductive organs do not.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
They
So an old lady squirrel's like still giving birth.
popping them out.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, as we know, there's one
Yeah,
female.
I
in
haven't
our
seen her in a
neighborhood
while, but she's old.
That was you could
She's
tell.
like the grandma, man.
was
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
Great. She's like really, you know what I mean?
And she had like you could see her spine, even
was
though she
all-
was eating. You know, she
yeah.
wasn't about like a health thing with fat. But
Uh-huh.
you could
She
see her
was just-
spine, and she was very old.
Yeah.
Wow.
You could tell.
How long do squirrels live?
Although she was respected by every other squirrel in the neighborhood.
yeah.
Really.
Totally,
Yeah.
she had
Yeah.
the full.
She
I
was
think
the queen
the,
bee.
the
Yeah,
Queen bee for
matriarch
sure.
of the entire
Yeah.
line. Yeah,
Mm.
everybody respected her, even the big guys. But she was so old. and
Usually
frail.
in the wild, they can live 7 years because of predatory
Is that about
reasons.
right?
Yeah.
But I read
yeah.
online in captivity, they
15 to 20
can,
years.
they can live 15 to
Wow.
20
Really?
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So they are like cats or something.
Yeah.
Like they,
Yeah.
Well, cats don't even live 20 years.
No.
they
I
don't,
think they
right?
live
15.
Yeah,
I mean, you
15.
can get older cats.
Yeah.
And there's this new shot.
I saw it where they can live double their lifespan.
Yeah, 30
Wait,
years.
How's that?
And they're
What-
coming
how do
in,
they,
and
how do they do that?
That'll be
Do
available.
they have that for humans?
Well, that actually, yes, in
They just-
2030.
But
If you
I
live
mean,
past
the-
2000, if you live past
Wait, what?
2030 as
Yes.
a
But
human,
this is going to get into a bigger.
there are going to be a lot of regulations.
Yeah, existential
because they
type
can't
of
have
a
people.
conversation.
They can't have people living forever, right? Because we're already overpopulated. So
Yeah.
it's probably not going to be available readily to the public. But in 2030, if you live past 2030, supposedly you can live up until 150.
Yeah,
Like,
they
no
can
problem.
double your lifespan for sure.
Like no
For
problem.
real?
But that's going to be a whole thing because did you ever see that movie? I think actually
In
it was
Time.
a Justin
Oh,
Timberlake movie.
It was
Oh,
in
yeah,
time.
I like
the,
that.
the new
Yeah,
currency
you know, it's
becomes
weird.
time.
weird.
right? And he
I'm
gets
down for the animals.
Yeah.
We don't need it as humans. We live long enough, I feel
Yeah.
like. But I would love my dog to live like 25, 30 years.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That would be so
Oh,
cool.
my
my
gosh.
cat to live like 30, 40 years. Wow.
Well, because
I need to look up this a little bit more.
yeah,
The cat
The human thing. Because
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
if somebody's going to live to be 150, like is it also like reversing the aging process? Like
Yeah,
what?
how do they do that? Because wouldn't it be deterioration of your organs? 'Cause
Right.
They don't. Like
Well,
the liver's not designed.
I think it's
to work
I think it's a
150
mixture
years.
at this point, right? It's going to be a concoction, a collaboration of lab grown organs and AI and all sorts of.
okay.
It's going to be
Okay,
like
so
a whole thing.
well,
Yeah.
At this point,
they discovered it. Fruit flies have an incredibly short lifespan. Okay, their whole life happens within a couple of weeks.
Right.
So they've taken fruit flies, and because they can take that short span of time, so over a year or two, you can see the lifespan of so many different individual fruit flies. They were able to find the part in the cell in the mitochondria that actually causes aging, and it basically what it is in the mitochondria of your cell, there's a tiny little particle that actually cleans up and keeps it young and healthy and replicates the walls of the mitochondria to keep the cell fresh and new. That is the little particle that keeps breaking down. Now, they were able to, in fruit flies, that's where it all started. They were able to, in fruit flies, double their life expectancy by helping those little particles clean out
Gotcha.
their cells.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what it goes.
So this shot will go into the cats.
It's
or
actually on a
whatever,
cellular
dogs.
Mhm.
level.
Cellular
Now,
level.
if you keep developing that technology, then no, you wouldn't even need lab-grown
Exactly.
organs.
Eventually,
Your
you won't
body-
be
Because your
able-
body is
will be
just-
will be regenerating.
Continue
Wow.
your
Yeah.
cell
Regenerating.
replication
Eventually,
that it did
yeah.
when you were younger.
Wow.
At this point, you're not there yet. That's why I said it would be a
Well,
collaboration.
I
So,
just
like-
think that,
that's
but like everything else, though,
Tom Brady could play till he's like 80. LeBron could go another 21. Yeah, another 22 years, man. Yeah, we do it.
That's
The king,
crazy.
literally.
That's crazy. That's
Dude,
crazy.
he's unbelievable. I mean, wow, it's nuts.
Yeah.
The shot for cats is available at the end of this year. The shot for dogs, I don't know when is available, but hopefully in the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it will be available. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there isn't as much, red tape they have to go through when it comes to
dogs.
humans.
Well,
But
it's
humans
almost-
is going to be
it's
really
almost
tough. I'm
like-
telling you, like, I don't know if I mean the technology is there. I just don't know if we're ever going to see it because they just don't want people living that long.
I think some people will see.
Some
Exactly.
people-
The
That's
top,
the
the
thing,
top, the top,
I don't- yeah.
top.
Some
top
can
people
afford
will.
to see
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
See
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be. It's going to be expensive.
It's going to be
Yeah.
really
Oh,
yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Insurance probably won't cover
No,
it.
no way.
Yeah.
What's my copay on this shot?
Yeah, right.
$10 billion. Wait, what's the copay?
We're living
What's the
past
best?
150.
No, that's the part you got to pay for. It's $20 billion. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a minute. I got to call my accountant. I'll get right back.
I got to crunch some numbers.
Yeah,
Let me think.
crunch some numbers.
That's pretty
into
interesting.
a
I know
bank,
I'm still stuck on this because it's like you can expand the life expectancy, but you can't cure certain
Right,
like that. That is
exactly.
insane. You can go inside of a cell and figure out exactly what it is to.
Dude. Well. I
Anyway,
mean,
anyway.
No,
it's a
it
huge
is-
conversation
I mean,
because basically this comes down to the fact that I mean
Yeah.
it's becoming pretty clear that being sick is a $1 trillion industry,
Mhm.
and
Right. Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yes.
the system is about money,
Right.
and that's
Yep.
where we have based our entire species on is capital. So, yes, I do think a lot of the cures that have come along have been suppressed because they can't be patented,
100%.
and you can't
Look,
make a lot of money off of
The
it.
Yeah,
money,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
money, as
Unfortunately.
they say, the
Yeah.
money is in the treatment. It's not in the cure.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I mean, look at
It-
even
it's-
male
it's a
pattern
bummer.
baldness. I mean, are you telling me we can literally put organs in people, transplant hearts? You can't figure out how
or
to
just clone
keep
it,
the hair.
or just clone a hair.
Yeah,
We're
I mean, you
cloning
can't
sheep.
figure out how to
Yeah.
just
You know
come
what I
up with a
mean?
pill
Just
that'll
clone
clean out
or
whatever
whatever.
DHT is blocking these. I mean, we know
It is
exactly
a-
what
it is a
causes it.
testosterone.
Yes,
Well,
yes,
that's what I'm
yes.
saying. So, like, what? Come on, but they make billions with the treatment.
Yeah.
Of course.
The treatment, the topicals, the vitamins that possibly work, the transplants that sometimes work. But
when you
at
go
the end of the
really
day,
deep
I'm pretty,
into it, when you-
I'm pretty convinced that by now.
when you go really deep
could
into
probably
it, you
cure
see
Yeah.
that these people. So, a lot of the patents for things have been bought and suppressed.
Right.
Like there are actual really good cures out
Mm-hmm.
there, but the patents are just locked up in a vault basically, and you can't you can't
There's a little
access
There's a little less red tape if you go overseas. Sometimes, some places.
Yeah.
some places.
Yep.
yeah.
But no, it's a lot of red tape.
So, like I said, my journey with the squirrels happened because I was facing health issues, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And because I wasn't getting answers from Western doctors, I had to look elsewhere, and I had to purchase different types of equipments and stuff. So I definitely understand what it looks like to heal from a cellular level.
There you
Like
go.
I have this one machine that it's like breathing in vapor. It looked like I have a oxygen
Really? One of those,
mask.
yeah.
But it sends signals to my cells to communicate better, so they know to heal and where to go to heal. And I thought I didn't think it was BS from the beginning because, of course, I purchased the machine. But I said, okay, let me rent it. I rented the machine, used it for 2 weeks, immediately noticed the difference because my body couldn't get rid of like lactic acid. So when I would work out, my muscles would just tighten up. I used the machine, inflammation went away, my mental clarity came back. I stopped using it just to see. I was like, all right, well, let me stop using it. And then those issues kind of came back a little bit. And I was like, okay, let me do it again. And I felt better. I don't know what is doing it. I know that it's working, right? So that was one of the things I did. I started looking up different herbs and different, remedies because I really had to take matters in my own hands to heal myself, you know? And the thing is, I don't know what I was healing myself from because there was no diagnosis of what I was going through.
Wow.
I know.
So it was a scary time, and thank God I had the resources to get these things.
It is really interesting, and one of the great things about there's a lot of not great stuff about social media and all these places. We've seen it, right, especially with young people. But one of the great things is that there's a real thorough way there and thoroughfare between these people that have these experiences and the doctors that have thought outside the box that are bringing these things. I know some amazing technology is light therapy and sound frequency. And you look at these videos, I mean, it's undeniable what they're doing with cancer, what they're doing with all these things. And like I said, no one's an expert here, so we're not speaking as experts, but I've seen the videos where the sound frequencies, because everything's a frequency.
Yes,
they're saying that the vibrations from Earth, if you put your feet in sand, if you put your feet on the
grounding
ground,
is a real thing.
Grounding is a real thing. We need it.
Yeah.
Our disconnect from that is creating a lot of problems. They're saying that sun, stay away from the sun. No sun, no sun. Sun is absolutely vital to your body.
Yes.
Coating yourself with sunscreens, which contain a bunch of poisons.
Well, but there is a good sunscreen.
But there
are
I'm not
good-
saying there aren't. I'm just
Bobby
saying,
approved sunscreen.
Bobby approved. Okay, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that generally they then sort of flew in and said, here's the deal. You got to coat yourself with this stuff to protect yourself.
No.
It's like this God-given thing up here that creates life. Like we don't exist without the sun. None of it does. And yet it's dangerous and poisonous. Well, okay. You don't want to be overexposed, but you certainly need it. It's vital. Anyway, I was watching some of these videos just with cancer alone, and it's mind-blowing. The cancer cells themselves, your body is keeping that cancer right there. It's actually doing its job when you have a tumor. Like it's keeping the cells contained so that they're not spreading. And they go in there with sound frequency, and you see them go boom, and they just
Blast it.
but the right way. Whereas so many times what they're saying and what I've read, and again, everyone's got different opinions, and I'm not speaking as an expert, just from things that I've read, is that when you go in and you biopsy or you go in and you take a sample, you're actually, the bodies work so hard to keep it here, and you go in and you take, and what you do is you incise it, and then it lets out everything that the body's been trying to keep contained. So to your point, there are amazing things outside of just conventional, medicine that are extremely valuable. And I feel like the combination is so important. And I feel like so many people either go one way or the other.
Yeah.
Because
the combination
you're either in a camp,
I
right?
think-
I feel like in this world today, they're keeping us in camps, right? You're either one side or the other in every category, whether it's politics or religion, whatever it is. And so many times, life it exists in the middle. It's that brackish stuff in the middle where we find the best.
That's the best.
That is the best.
Yeah.
Is when
It's
you
that
get
middle
all these
ground
different
where you
opinions,
go,
all these different things that come together,
yes.
and then you have
know
all
what?
this mix of it. It's
I can
the
feel
best.
this way about this, but I can feel this way about this. And together, like it makes me a well-rounded, like thoughtful person
Yeah.
instead of like over here or over here in
Yeah.
whatever category
Yeah.
you want to put that into, right?
Yep.
So I feel like that's where we come up with our best sort of creations and where we really can help people in a lot of ways. And I've seen it with medicine, and I've seen it in with social things. I've seen it with politics. I've seen it when we're at our best. It's when when it's just flowing. It's free flowing, and people are coming up with ideas, and there's that creation in the middle. And that middle ground that's the power.
Yeah.
And that's why I think a lot of people try to keep us over on sides of whatever side you're on in whatever category.
Yeah, because if
you know?
if we're all working in unity,
Oh my gosh, we're
you
unstoppable.
can't control that because
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
unstoppable.
Yep.
It is unstoppable.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is, man.
I think it's pride, but
Yes.
it's also if you're unable to see yourself in somebody else's shoes,
Yeah.
there will always be a disconnect.
Absolutely.
Right?
So true.
I've
doubt.
always been like that since a kid. Like if I had questions or if I was curious about why somebody did something, I would put myself in their position to be like, okay, I wouldn't do it, but why did they? So it can give me a better understanding.
100%.
Not, because it's easy. I think it's easier to be like, okay, I don't agree with you, so you stay over there.
Exactly.
So true.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
I don't know your upbringing. I don't know anything.
Exactly.
So I put myself in other people
Yep.
lenses.
Absolutely.
And we probably still may not agree, but there's no
There's no
hatred.
animus.
Right.
There's no animus.
Right.
Because you understand. And by the way, it's okay to disagree.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah,
great
absolutely.
to disagree.
Yeah.
Actually, the greatest things that have ever happened, on this earth
Well,
have
usually
been because
are
two people disagree.
results of
Yes.
a disagreement.
Of a disagreement, and you're like, wait a minute. There's got to
Yeah.
so
There's got to
you
be
th-
a middle ground.
Oh
and
my
there has
gosh,
to be,
we just cracked it.
Yeah, it's that whole expression. You got to try to walk a mile in someone else's shoes. I mean, you do. You have to always really try to understand where the other person is coming from. You're
Absolutely.
so right.
You're so right.
And it just gives you perspective,
Even
so
if
that
they're-
at least
and-
you might not agree,
and
but you don't.
I
have
gotta be
this-
honest.
This hatred.
I gotta be
Yes.
honest. It goes
Yep.
beyond people too. For me,
Yeah.
like I try to bring that understanding with animals
Oh, of
and
course.
nature.
Oh, nature,
Like
yeah,
I really
absolutely.
do. Like I'm very compassionate with animals, and people ask me why, and it's because I try to keep.
Sounds like you're peeing.
Yeah, it
I'm
sounds like you're
sorry,
peeing.
guys.
What
So
are you
I
doing?
tried to hide
Yeah,
that.
see, I try to keep animals and human compassion on the same level. Like I try not to take us too far out of nature. We have a higher conscience, obviously, because we cooked meat and protein enzymes and our brains evolved. But I think that we're all animals and we have a responsibility because of our evolution and our higher consciousness to treat animals right.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's why I see
Yeah.
squirrels and stuff. It's like I don't want to, I love squirrels.
I love them.
They're
I
the
love
best.
them too.
Yeah.
And dude, we love you, man. You're awesome, man.
Hey,
dude.
This has
listen.
been.
I want to come meet Maxine, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can
Yeah,
I?
that'd be
Y'all
Seriously.
can all like
we would
yeah,
love to
Really?
come
yeah,
over and
yeah.
hang out
All
with
right.
Maxine.
No,
Yeah,
for real.
Gotta do it. No,
For real.
no joke.
No
we,
joke.
we say things on here, but they're not fake. Like,
Okay.
No, yeah, we do.
we
it.
will show up.
Listen, listen, camera. I don't know which one I need to
They're
look at,
all-
but y'all
they're all-
heard it, right?
Yeah.
We will. We
So
will.
when I tell my audience that I
Yeah.
invited them and they didn't show,
No, we're gonna
y'all
come over,
come
dude.
for them.
We're gonna
coming.
come over,
All right.
bro.
We will be
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
No, for
And
real.
same
For
here,
real.
open invitation. I got
Okay. Anytime you wanna come back.
come hang
Anytime,
out,
man.
man.
Yeah.
Please keep us posted on the tour,
Yes,
the
I
merch.
will.
If you
Yeah,
send
yeah,
us
yeah.
the t-shirts,
I
we'll
am.
wear them. I
I
promise.
will.
All right.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
like I said, man, it's been so cool to do this pod. We met so many cool people, and we've developed relationships with some of them that just go well beyond just a guest on the show.
yeah.
And I feel like that, man. You're really cool. You're
I
really
appreciate
cool,
it.
Yeah,
man.
man.
And
Thank you.
I know
Thank you.
Matt vouched for you. He was like, we got it.
Yes.
If we can get
Yeah.
this guy on, we got to have him on.
Yeah.
And it couldn't be more perfect. For,
And I
what
gotta
we were going through.
Thank
so.
you for giving me some courage and opening my eyes to having a deeper relationship with squirrels.
Yeah, man.
Because I was doing a lot of research out there, looking, is this something that I could even do? Like,
Yeah.
can I have this relationship? Can I take on the responsibility? And I stumbled upon you. And,
Stumbled.
Well,
Thanks. Now I'm a stumble.
Yeah, you are a stumble.
I don't
Andy,
think.
Check this guy.
I'm not sure, Matt. I think I
Where
found.
you stumbled.
I think I
some
found Derrick.
some idiot was telling me something about
Yeah,
something.
some idiot was telling me
Anyway,
something, and I found
this.
you. No,
Yeah,
I think I
yeah.
stumbled upon Derrick on just individually.
I don't think so, bud.
I
That's
think
okay.
so. I mean, maybe it was Matt. I don't really remember.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
bottom
Anyway,
line
you
is,
wanna-
But we're here now.
Bro,
We're
and
here
you gave me
now.
some courage,
You
man.
want to
so I
take us
appreciate
out?
it.
You
I
want
really
to
do.
take us out, Andy or Matt?
Sure, Matt. You
us out?
take us us out. You take us out, Matt.
Thanks so much for watching the
Yeah.
Brotherly Love Pod. Go ahead. You won't do it that good, but do
So
it.
thanks so much for watching the
Oh,
Brotherly Love
that's
That's
Pod.
not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Hey, this was great.
It was great.
Yes,
Thanks
it
for
was.
being here, man.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for
We're gonna
having
do it. We're gonna hang out some more. I
Yep.
hope. And
Yeah, we're gonna have a sequel. Have a
we'll
round
just-
two, a follow up.
Yeah.
Let's keep this
Squirrel
going.
over.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
we
All
gotta
right,
keep
guys.
this going. But what a great show!
Have a blessed
Thank you all
weekend,
for being
everybody.
Yes,
here.
thank you very
Yes.
much.
Derrick Downey Jr. in the house, everybody.
Woo, the Squirrel Man.
The Squirrel Man.
Brotherly Love
Watch out for his
Pod.
book. Watch out for his book, Hand and Paw.
You can get it on Amazon,
Yes.
the hard copy, soft copy, paperback.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's awesome. The drawings are amazing. Story's
you.
fantastic.
Yep.
Check out for his merch,
Yes.
his tour, and all the other great things that he's going to be doing. And watch out for his Disney lot videos because they're going to be coming
Yes.
soon.
Yes, you gotta
Yeah.
get
I
on
gotta
that
see
Disney
you on the
lot.
lot.
We gotta get you on the
Absolutely.
Disney
I
lot.
mean, I'm pretty sure you know the people. And
I
stuff.
do.
Joe,
Make it
look
happen.
it up, Joe.
Yeah.
Look it up.
I
Let's
know
make it
a
happen.
person or two in the Disney
Yeah.
lot. We'll
Uh-huh.
get you in.
We know
All right,
Mickey.
guys.
We know Mickey personally.
Oh,
You know,
boy.
yeah.
Hey,
All right.
pal.
Oh,
All
boy.
right.
All right.
Here we go,
Everybody.
guys.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
great day. See you guys later. We'll see you next week right here on
Bye,
the Brotherly Love
y'all.
Pod. God bless everybody. Bye-bye. Hey, what's up, everybody? The
Lawrence brothers are here.
Thank you so much for enjoying this week's episode of the Brotherly Love Pod.
And if you want more of this show, check out our premium feed on Supercast.
That's right, where you'll see ad-free episodes, monthly AMAs, behind-the-scene content, and so much more.
That's brotherlylove.supercast.com to join.
Check out our link tree and subscribe on all platforms.
We'll see you all
Next week!